It's an important election day here in Virginia.
Yes, the balance of power is at stake in the General Assembly.
ODU Political Science Associate Professor Dr. Ben Melusky joins us now to break it all down.
Dr. Melusky, thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure.
So we have about 3 hours until the polls close. I know you've been keeping a close eye on it. What does turnout look like? Weather's no excuse.
Yeah, weather's no excuse. It's a beautiful day out there. The polls, from what I've heard around the state, have been steady, and that's good news in a sleepy midterm year for our state legislature. So for the parties, that's what you want. You want good election day turnout.
New districts for everyone. They had to look up their locations, where to go, and for whom to vote. And on that subject, could Virginia turn solidly blue? There's
potential it could turn solidly blue, as well as it could be not turn solidly blue. The legislature could turn solidly blue. Or we could have a solidly red government as well, too. And it's going to be very close tonight. And that's where both parties are operating. They've got the ground game going. They're spending every dollar of their campaign war chest down. They are getting people to the polls, and they've been doing it for weeks now up to this point.
So a solid blue could mean that our leaders right here from Portsmouth take control, really, in the legislature in Virginia, but a solid red means something different for our governor.
Yeah, so if the legislature goes blue, we can expect a little bit more gridlock to be expected. A little bit less power to the Republicans now, so Governor Youngkin will have to work with the legislature to pass policies forward. If it does go solidly red, for Governor Youngkin, there's been a lot of talk. Is he going to be that dark horse last-minute candidate to jump in to the presidential election? Or looking farther ahead, will he be the next one to take on Tim Kaine?
Very interesting. Their big issue, of course, is abortion. What's the political calculus for Governor Youngkin coming up with 15-week ban?
Well, if you look at the 15-week ban, it's very similar to what Congress has been trying to advance for some time now, often called a fetal pain bill. So he's trying to be fairly consistent with that. But he, as opposed to members of the party, he's been taking the center stage on this, trying to take the heat himself and also trying to reshape the narrative around it.
Could be a really big night for Louise Lucas and Don Scott as well.
Yes, very much. We're seeing, kind of in our area, the road to control of the legislature, in many cases, will be going through Hampton Roads and a handful of seats across the Commonwealth.
And again, Virginia, a bellwether state, of course. The nation is watching, and they're watching to see if this will give them any indicators on how the electorate will vote in 2024.
Right. We're seeing basically a dry run for 2024 in terms of how issues will drive voters to the polls, how those issues are being framed, where the money's coming from, what turnout looks like, what demographics look like. It really is going to play out in Virginia, and we'll see the parties take it into 2024.
All right. And of course, while all that is said, we could just throw it up in the air, and who knows? I mean, what Virginia decides may not be what the nation decides, right? It's a litmus test, but.
Very true. I mean, the state's been moving in different directions for a period of time now. Some people have said it's been, kind of this light blue state. Is it purpley? Is it even a red state anymore? Does it match the rest of the country? Who knows? But the reality is the elections that take place tonight do have significant consequences for policy in the Commonwealth, for the Commonwealth citizens, and then, perhaps moving forward for the presidential election.
All right, Dr. Melusky, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.